Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to episode 7 of the Meta Meltdown. Today is Thursday, July 7th, 2016. We're really sorry about our crazy schedule and our absence we've had. The beginning of summer is really crazy, and it doesn't help that we've had like connection issues and just things of that nature. Anyways, if this is your first time tuning into the Meta Meltdown is a 20-minute podcast about the current meta in Hearthstone. Each week we'll focus on a specific deck. This week we're focusing on Dragon Warrior, and we'll provide insight on how to pilot the deck in order to succeed on the ladder. My name is Dominic Silverddragn Nguyen, and I have, of course, with me my co-host Nate Wolter, aka Natediggity. How's it going, man?
It's going great, dude. How you doing this week?
I'm doing all right. There's a lot of new stuff to discuss. Not Hearthstone related, but just a bunch of things in general. So I'm doing really well, but I'm really happy to be back to play some Hearthstone.
Yeah, me too. Let's get after it.
Sounds good. All right, so in personal Hearthstone news, let's talk about anything that's happened to us. Nate, you want to go first?
So nothing too crazy. I guess I lied. There was craziness. Wife was out of town this weekend, so played about 80 games of Hearthstone from Friday night to Saturday. I was going to hit Legend in a couple days because that's what all the top people do, which I'm probably not a top person, but
you're getting there.
Yeah, I was trying to just hit Legend as soon as possible and be like one of the, race to Legend. It's what a lot of the popular streamers do, but got to rank 8 after like 80 games, and I just burnt myself out, and I really haven't hit the ladder since. So still at rank 8, but got a pretty good start to the week. What about you?
So for the past 2 weeks, I've only gotten, I don't know, maybe like 20 games of Hearthstone in, and that's before this weekend in particular, because I work for Anime Expo, and so I've been over there helping out with them, and so I haven't been able to play as much, so you're going to be doing a lot of the answering in this video. But I want to show you guys something I got at Anime Expo. I got this really sick pin. It was in the Artist Alley. This is $4, and it's like really nice metal, and I'm going to wear it during like podcasts and like just videos and events that we're going to be running. So that's really cool. And then my last piece of news is that on the 17th of July this month, Nate and I will probably be at the iBuyPower event that's hosting. I'll get you the information on where and when that is at the end of this podcast, so please stay tuned. But yeah, so that's going to be really, really dope. You'll see us live in person if you guys want to come visit. It'll be in the general like OC area, so if you're living in that area, please come say hi. Anyways, let's move on to our TempoStorm meta report, our Vicious Syndicate Data Reaper report, and then we'll talk about our Dragon Warrior. And wait, real quick, Nate, do you want to talk about any of the decks you played this week besides Dragon Warrior?
Yeah, obviously besides Dragon Warrior, played a lot of Aggro Shaman as I was trying to race to Legend. And then once I got sick of tryharding, I played a bunch of Yogg Druid, which is actually really good, which we'll talk about in a little bit as well. What about you?
Like I said, I didn't get to play that much, so I just played Dragon Warrior. Oh, I did play one game of Yogg Druid though, and then I promptly quit because Yogg, I was trying to BM, he had like 1 health, right? I was totally gonna just destroy him, and then I played Yogg, and then yeah, might have burnt myself there, but it's cool. I think. We'll discuss how to play Yogg Druid next week. But yes, definitely a fun deck. I had fun with it, even though I lost. So yeah, let's talk about the TempoStorm meta report. So Nate, do you want to walk us through that real quick?
Yes, sir. So Tier 1, there are 4 decks. Number 1, Aggro Shaman. Number 2, Dragon Warrior, our deck of the week. Number 3, Cthulhu Warrior. Number 4, Zulak. And number 5 at Tier 2 is Tempo Warrior. So pretty standard, I think, as far as what I've been seeing on the ladder. What about you?
Yeah, I think that those are pretty standard. The list hasn't changed much. Warrior is obviously doing really well with 3 decks up in the top 1 and 2 tiers. And Zulak and Shaman are really just staples in the Hearthstone meta. So yeah, seems about normal. Not too much to talk about there.
Yeah, it's getting pretty stale at this point. I think we're all ready for an adventure.
Yeah, new adventure. That'd be really cool. More cards to play. That's exactly when I start playing like a ton of games, is when new stuff comes out.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about the Data Reaper report now. Nate, take it away.
Yeah, no problem. So Data Reaper report number 8. So based on the numbers for all games played so far last week, number 1 deck is Yogg Druid with a 52.39% win rating. Yogg Druid. Crazy. Dragon Warrior at number 2 with 52.22% win rate. Aggro Shaman, 52.21% win rate at number 3. Number 4, Midrange Hunter at 52.11%. And then at tier 2 is Zulok with 51.97% win rate.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that looks really impressive for Yogg Druid, because that kind of came out of nowhere-ish. Like, we've heard about it, we've seen it around, but yeah, we haven't seen. I didn't know how well it was doing, so yeah, I'm excited to play it next week, and then we'll hopefully do really well, and it won't burn ourselves with it.
Yeah, I think we saw the beginning of it with Jackie Chan, who's a really popular European streamer.
Yep.
And he was just messing around, and he kind of found out that Yogg is pretty good. And then a lot of people refined his list and made it super good. And then Yogg is just there as kind of like the oh crap button.
Got it.
So you're losing, you have no chance of winning the game Yogg, and then suddenly you pull out a win that you absolutely didn't deserve. But
it's all good. That's like half of Hearthstone games anyway. Top deck, whatever, and you're like, here we go,
just
boys.
Bundle of RNG goodness.
Yes, that's why we love our game. But yeah. So then let's talk about our tempo list, our TempoStorm's Warrior. Nate, do you want to run through the deck list, and then we'll talk about stats right after?
Yep. So the deck of the week. This is the one that I ran to Legend last month. I know there's a lot of variations. We'll discuss some of the other cards that might do well. But for this deck, we have 2 Inner Rages, 2 Blood Ichors, 2 Executes, Sir Finley Murgleton, 2 Fiery War Axes, 2 Alex Strauss's Champion, 2 Fairy Dragons, 2 Frothing Berserkers, 2 Ravaging Ghouls, 2 Kor'kron Elites, 2 Twilight Guardians, 2 Azure Drakes, 2 Blackwind Corruptors, 2 Draconoid Crushers, Malkarok, Grommash Hellscream, and Ragnaros the Firelord.
Sounds good. And how did you do with the deck, Nate?
Well, I started playing probably about a week before it got super popular on ladder, because I noticed on the Meta Reaper report that it had the best win rate, and no one was really playing it 3 weeks ago or so.
That's how you do it.
So I gave it a whirl. I was slightly ahead of the meta, and I just stormed from like rank 5 to 1, and I think I had like 32 and 12 in that run, so I did pretty well with it. And then the more that I've been seeing this deck on ladder, the more I've been, the lower my win percentage has been with it. Obviously, because I'm seeing a lot more mirror matches and a lot more people just preparing to face this deck, which is it's all over the ladder, unsurprisingly. So my stats overall in the past month with this deck, I went 51 and 34 at exactly a 60% win rate.
That's pretty good still, yeah.
Yeah, most of it is from like rank 5 and then a bunch of legend games in there, and then some are at the beginning of the ladder this month, so
okay, yeah,
I'm happy with it.
Yeah, that's still really good, I feel like. And I want to appreciate you for the giving it a whirl dragon or warrior pun. I think that probably went over a bunch of people's heads. But yeah, definitely. I think it's a really good deck. I think it's really teched out against a lot of the decks that you'll encounter on the ladder. But yes, those mirror matchups are really difficult, and we'll talk about why. Some of us have decided to start running Deathlord, Deathwing, yeah.
Yes,
but
Deathwing.
Because of the mirror matchup. But yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. So to go over how to play this deck, you're gonna play. Against aggro decks. You're gonna try to control the board as much as possible, getting a lot of value trades, and then start hitting their face for tempo, like playing tempo wise. Against control, you're going to start to look for an even faster start and only trade when you get the advantage, because you don't have the luxury of being able to control the board. You have to hit the face, get those Draconoid Crushers out, summon Malkarok, and then get Gorehowl and smack him for 30. But yeah, so and in both cases, you're going to try to overpower your opponent with huge creatures late game. So that's Malkarok, like I just said, Grom, Rag, Draconoid Crushers. Those are really, really fun to play turn 6-7, and they'll win you the game in that regard. Let's talk about matchups. So Nate, you want to go over those real quick?
Sure. So good, bad, and the ugly. Good being a 55% win rate or above a certain deck. There's actually not any that Dragon Warrior has above a 55% win rate.
And that's due to because that's due to because it's getting really popular, right? So that way, it was a lot better previously, but now it's really, really decent against most decks.
Yeah, exactly. It just does average. I wouldn't say average, above average. Mm-hmm. I think the win rate was like 52.22%. So really good, obviously, second best deck. But since more people are playing it, you're going to have a lot more 50-50s playing Dragon Warrior mirror matchups, and a lot of people are going to be teching against it. So
got it.
Nothing about 55%, so not too unnormal. And then the bad matchups. So these are from 35% to 45% win rates. We have Beast Druid, Ramp Druid, Freeze Mage, Control Priest, Dragon Priest, and Aggro Shaman. And then ugly, below 35% win rate, we don't have anything. So
got it. Okay.
This deck is pretty even against everything, it looks like.
So highly skill-based is what you're saying.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of RNG other than if you're playing Malkarok and
get those Cursed Blades.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are super fun.
That's always a good time.
Yeah, no. So let's talk about cards that stand out. So I already talked about Draconoid Crushers. Those are really, really good. If you can do 15 damage and get those out early. Certainly Murgleton. I think. Do you want to talk about him real quick?
Yeah, you said it wrong. It's Murgleton.
Murgleton.
Yeah, so Sir Finley's really good for this deck because as a tempo deck, Warrior hero power is just pretty bad. Maybe in like a game against like Zoo or Aggro Shaman, Armor Up will help you, but for pretty much every other matchup, you're looking for other hero powers. Really good ones are Mage hero power. You can ping a lot of your stuff. Or, of course, clear off your enemy board or wherever you need to apply the 1 damage. Hunter hero power is exceptionally good because going face is usually the right place. I'm a poet. And then and then the other one I really like is Warlock because it doesn't have a whole lot of draw, although typically you can curve out pretty good as you have a lot of you have a good mana curve since you have a lot of higher mana creatures as well. But those are the top 3 in my mind.
Right. And I think those are also really good because if you get the Mage hero power, you got a Frothing Berserker and Grom as well. And the last card that we want to talk about that stands out is Inner Rage. So it's similar to the Mage hero power. Inner Rage essentially is the same thing. You have your Frothing Berserkers and you have your Grom Hellscreams. And even your Executes if you really need to. So really, really good card. Those 3 things are definitely something you want to be utilizing often. And then we'll go into our honorable mentions. Nate?
Yes, so honorable mentions. Number 1 is Slam. Pretty much you either play Slam or Inner Rage depending on the matchup. Inner Rage is more for aggro matchups, especially like Zoolock if you want to like clear off the board for 0 mana cost, obviously. And then Slam is for slower matchups where you can deal damage to a creature, then draw a card, and then follow up in any other feasible way. Number 2 is Malkarok. We don't need to talk about this one because it's already in the deck, but some people don't run it. But we do, so we'll just skip it for now. Fierce Monkey, I haven't seen a lot of iterations with Fierce Monkey, but again, it is a pretty decent card if you're running into a lot of Aggro Shaman and Zoolock.
Definitely.
And then, how do you feel about N'Zoth's first mate, Dom?
I actually really like it. I don't know if I would run it in this deck per se. We have we have the Fiery Waxers and we have Malkarok. But I really, really like it. I think for the mana cost, I think it costs 1. It's really, really good. So I definitely like the card a lot. I just don't know if I'd run it. And I don't know what I would take out for it. Because it gives you a little bit more, partially control, but partially aggro as well. Seeing as the only 1-drop that we have is certainly, that's a creature. So N'Zoth's first mate is definitely something that I would want to play around with more. But I think it's a fun card.
Yeah, it's a super high value card if you think about it. You get a 1/1 for 1 mana, and then you get a 1/3 weapon. So really good against Zoolock, by the way.
Definitely. And then lastly, Yo,
All right,
do you want
so
to talk
I'll
about
leave
it?
this one up. Nope, this one is up to you. You were talking about it earlier.
Yeah, Deathwing, super fun card. I think for those of you guys who have it, it's definitely another activator for your deck. So really good card there. And I've noticed playing Dragon Warrior that sometimes you fall behind and you don't have that many ways to get back into the game if you're not hitting them in the face, right? Like sometimes they're at like 7 life and you can pull out a Malkarok or if, X amount of life, low life levels. But if they've been doing a really good job, if they've been having, you're playing Priest, you're playing Control Warrior, stuff like that, um, you want to have Deathwing in your deck, and Deathwing is super fun because it's like Yogg, right? It's like a last ditch attempt to try to swing things back into your favor. But I think that because this is a tempo deck, I think that you should really focus on playing this deck correctly, or as much as you can, um, and not teching for the control matchup as much. Like you really want to just find that sweet spot and beat both matchups before they can start getting ahead of you because you're playing for tempo. Start outvaluing you. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. And Deathwing is something much more of a last-ditch attempt, and that's why I don't really like it as much. But I definitely see the value in it because there's definitely times where I've wished that I had a Deathwing to clear the board, and then I would win right there. But how do you feel about Deathwing, Nate?
I think win or lose, it's just a goddamn fun card to play.
Definitely.
Just clearing their entire board off, and then losing all of your hand is obviously sort of a downfall. But other than that, I really like it. A lot of people have been successful with it. I think a couple people have got top 10, and maybe I even saw #1 with it. I know Trip, who's not a very well-known Hearthstone player, but in the community. But I think he has finished #1 before on the ladder. So
oh, nice. Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And some other stats I just wanted to mention as well, since I forgot to mention them earlier. So in the Data Reaper report, all ranked games, so we've seen throughout the last couple months that Warrior has had a lot of iterations, and there's a lot of equal play among all of those iterations.
Right.
So it has started to swing one direction now. Warrior has been played, I'll get your percentage here, 31.14% of the freaking games on ladder.
Really? That's a ton.
That is
more
ridiculous.
than a third.
Now, this is from rank 10 to 1, to be fair, for this last week. But 14.13% of those games have been with Dragon Warrior, so about 15% of all games, essentially, have been with Dragon Warrior, and then 7.52% of those games have been Control Warrior of the 30% of the Warrior games, and then it just sort of falls off from there with Tempo Warrior not seeing much play, about 2%, Control Warrior, we'll call it 3%, Patron under 2%, Pirate Warrior under 2%, so Dragon Warrior is king.
Got it. Looks like we picked the right deck.
Yeah, we definitely did. We're a little late to the party, as we kind of missed last week to really talk about it and get people ahead of the game, but still really good. So go play it, go have fun on the ladder, making people cry.
Definitely. Sounds good. So the one thing they need to get started out with this deck is the starting hand, or the mulligan. So let's talk about that. Nate, do you want to take it away?
Yes, sir. So against Aggro, we are looking for the following cards. Fiery Wind Axe. We've talked about this with Tempo Warrior. You get this card in your opening hand.
Always want that card.
And you're looking good. It's super undervalued card. It's amazing. So keep that. Blood to Ichor is really good, especially, if you're playing like a Zulok or Aggro Shaman. If someone plays, I forget the name of this, Argent Squire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you just throw it on the Divine Shield, it breaks it, and you get a 2/2, and they're left with a 1/1. So it's really good against cards like that.
Right.
Alexstrasza's Champion, super good. Again, you do have to pair it with a dragon to get the +1 attack and charge effect, but definitely try to keep that in your opening hand and just pray for a dragon. Sir Finley, really good. Obviously, he's the only 1-drop in this deck, so keep him every time. Fairy Dragon, amazing
It's
opening.
so good. So good. I love Fairy Dragon. Holy crap. It's like
Yes.
beautiful.
Super good against classes that use a lot of spells, like Warrior right away. If they don't have their axe, they can't shield slam it or anything, or like Mage. And then Ravaging Ghoul. So it's really good. for just activating your own cards like Frothing Berserker, and then also clearing the board as well.
Definitely.
So one of those 6, or just look for a combination of that 6 if possible.
Yep.
And then how about control, Dom?
So for control, you're looking for the same thing, but you're also looking for Frothing Berserker, because you can keep those and get those out really early. But I want to reiterate again, like Fairy Dragon is super, super useful. It also gives you a lot of tells too, because a lot of people will hover the Fairy Dragon, or they'll pull a card out of the Fairy Dragon, forgetting that it doesn't, spells don't affect it. So then you'll know that they have something, whatever deck it is. You'll know that they have an early game card for your next drop. But yeah. So again, you're looking for Fiery Warax, Blood Ichor, Alex Strauss's Champion, Sir Finley, Fairy Dragon, like we've mentioned, Ravaging Ghoul, and then you really want Frothing Berserker because you can get in a lot of damage early before they start ramping for value. So, yeah.
Yeah, Frothing can definitely be a win condition in and of itself if not dealt with. So, definitely a great card against control.
Yeah, and that is about going to wrap it up for us this week, guys. Thank you for everyone who's watching, downloading our podcast, checking us out on Twitch, racking up views on YouTube. All those things are really wonderful, and we love seeing you guys up on there. Shout out again to our moderator, Ritual Plays, every week. Doesn't matter when we have it, you're always there for us. We really, really appreciate you. So thank you again, sir. And again, you can find all our deck lists and previous shows at metameltdown.com. Next week, we're going to be talking about Yogg Druid. And
Yes!
Yeah, we're Yogg Druid. And next week, you'll be able to find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/metameltdown. We'll shoot for next Wednesday at 7 p.m. And
Pacific?
Yes, Pacific time. For those of you guys who are living in Utah, I know a couple of you guys watch us out in there, so thank you guys. And our Twitter is at the MetaMeltdown. Our YouTube is MetaMeltdown. And our email is metameltdownpodcast@gmail.com. I did mention that we're gonna be at the iBuyPower Summer Invitational 2016. I'm gonna link you guys up on YouTube if you guys are over there. But it's iBuyPower, or I'll put it up on Twitch as well. www.ibuypower.com/site/events/IBP-summer-invite-2016. I'll put it in the description. It's kind of long, but just a real quick iteration of it. Every popular game is going to be there. We're going to have it at Esports Arena. So yes, Nate, the point in which we have met. We're going to return there and start casting again. So it's going to be really epic.
Getting the band back together.
Yeah, exactly. Well, 2/3 of the band. The good part. It's the good parts.
Yes.
We'll have CS:GO, Overwatch, Hearthstone, League of Legends, Rocket League, and Super Smash Bros. And it's sponsored by NVIDIA, Microsoft, WD, Best Buy, NVIDIA. Intel, that's what it is, and PvP Live. So definitely come.
Out.
Yeah, sorry, we have sponsors. Yeah, I gotta do it. But yeah, check us out. July 16th to the 17th. We will be there July 17th. So definitely check us out on the Sunday because that's when we'll be there. Every other game, or the other games will be there. So definitely check that out. But yeah, thank you everyone for listening. Again, we super appreciate it. Anything else, Nate?
That'll do it. Thanks everyone for tuning in. See you next week.
Sounds good.